Well, the interesting thing about Girard is even though he is a critic of all culture, and government would be one of forms of culture, he would look at politics and culture as containing our violence. Government is simply a manipulation of the mimetic scapegoating mechanisms of humanity. So Girard recognized that, but he wasn't a raw anarchist. He didn't think that we would better the world by just stepping away from any political involvement. But his sensitivity to how mimetic people are in our arguments is very informative to us. For example, in our political disputes, one of the ways in which we pretend that we can sort of win arguments is by just sort of slandering or sort of painting as awful some opponent. But what's interesting is his mimetic theory has confirmed that usually, actually, when some people like Bill Clinton, when the accusations and impeachment process against him started intensifying, his support also went up, which suggests that we mimetically are a tug of war type people, and that when you attack people, it simply comes back at you. I mean, Jesus said this when he says, to the extent that you judge, you too will be judged. We are reciprocal type people. And so I've been very happy when I find there are some politicians who insist upon always trying to take the higher road, so to speak. They may still critique, they may still denounce injustices, but they never are trying to just whip people into a mob of frenzy. So I think Girard is very suspicious, and mimetic theory should be very suspicious of trying to whip people into a populist fury, but always trying to play to the better angels of our nature. So, for example, when Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke were running in 2018, there was some really dark below the belt hits against O'Rourke at one moment, in which I was very happy to see him respond by insisting that he not insult his opponent, and insisting also that his supporters not insult and attack. Because the more we get involved in this sort of trying to do anything beyond the simple forms of critique and normal debate, we get into these dark antagonisms that can only escalate. So, I mean, ultimately, politics is still an agonistic sport. It's a sport of opposing, critiquing, and trying to displace. But mimetic theory, I think, in the least, is teaching us that because we are so reciprocal, you have to be so dangerous when it comes to the sort of mob frenzy of attacking people and scapegoating them.